Good afternoon, this is Media Center, Ukraine, Odesa. We continue for today. Our current guest is Yuriy Kruk, head of the Odesa Military District Administration, to share details about partial access to the Black Sea coastline in the city of Odesa and the city of Chornomorsk. I would like to say at once that we are not talking here about opening of coastline. We need to communicate properly our messages to the society. And now I would like to discuss what are we talking about today. The situation is constantly changes in Ukraine. And you know that today the enemy has committed yet another terrorist attack. There is the destruction of the parts of the dam in Kakhovska hydroelectric power station. There is the danger of flooding of 80 settlements. And following the order of the head of the Odesa regional administration, the Odesa region and the city of the Odesa is making preparations to get ready to accommodate IDPs from the flooded areas. And now we coordinate our activities with the heads of different districts in our region to welcome people looking for shelter in our region. And we expect that the Odesa region will be one of the destination points of these people. 1,100 places for IDPs have been already prepared, but we are going to activate our work in this area. Using this opportunity, I would like to welcome all journalists present here with the professional day. I would like to thank you for your work because a lot depends on your work, especially today during the martial law. A lot depends on how you communicate information, how you cover the situation. That's why I would like to thank you once again for staying in Ukraine and for doing what you do. And we hope for further communication and cooperation with you. As for the topics I want to cover today, with regard to the situation in the Odesa region and the city of Odesa. We continue our work to balance needs of the society and the limitations under the martial law. That's why we cooperate with the military command to settle the issues related to access of the areas of the Black Sea coastline. I would like to emphasize once again that Order 16 signed last year is still in force. It was signed by the Odesa Regional Military Administration and the military group in our area. The order bans access to the Black Sea coastline and also swimming in the sea. There is quite a high level of mine danger after storms. That's why I would like to address once again the residents of Odesa, the guests of our city, and as well as the Odesa region, to take care and not to violate the limitations that have been imposed. At the same time, the Odesa Regional Military Administration, as well as the Odesa Military District Administrations, will take measures to ensure a proper balance. Last time, I told you about the joint order on conditions that should be met to open access to some areas of the Black Sea coastline for our citizens. for recreation activities. According to the order signed and communicated, and I would like to start from the city of Odesa till the 5th of June, municipal authorities were supposed to provide proposals to the Odesa Military Regional Administration according to the order that we discussed with you last time. We've received a letter from the municipal authorities with the request to prolong the period till the 15th of June. That's why I would like to emphasize that the prohibition to access the Black Sea coastline and the Black Sea beaches is still there. After the 15th of June, after the provision of the relevant acts that will prove the implementation of the conditions envisaged by the order, we will make the final decision about the access to separate areas of the coastline, and we will communicate the results to the society, to the publics. The management of the Municipal Council of the city of Chornomorsk referred to us, including the mayor of the city and some economic operators. We've examined the possibility to provide similar conditions to the municipal authorities of the city of Chornomorsk. On Saturday, together with the representatives of the military command, we examined some areas of the coastline, and I'd like to inform you that the relevant order was signed yesterday about some measures that shall be taken to prepare partial access to the Black Sea coastline within the city of Chornomorsk under the legal regime of martial law. Due to the fact that there are no traverses and wave breakers in the city of Chornomorsk, the access to the Black Sea coastline in the whole city is prohibited. We've defined the only area where the access is possible, subject to meeting specific conditions. This is the area of Yacht Club of the city enterprise of the Sea Commercial Port Chornomorsk. So the order defines this area subject to meeting all the conditions, similar to the condition envisaged by the order for the city of Odesa, including bomb shelters, air raid alerts, the examination by divers, installment of the safeguard net at the entry from the sea to the yacht club. Subject to these provisions, the municipal columns of the city of Chornomorsk will be able to establish the commission to provide all information needed to the regional military administration. We've also taken into consideration the needs of the sports club as for providing access to separate areas of the sand beaches. There are specific conditions envisaged to avoid access of people to the Black Sea coastline. I'm talking now about the areas that used to host sport competitions. This area, this part will be accessible to the sports people, to citizens who are used to spend time there, subject to specific activities and conditions. This is also envisaged by the relevant order. And I would also like to share details about the order establishing the movement by inland water transport and small boats in the Dnistra and Turanchuk rivers. There is a special order that envisaged up to 10 small boats that should be equipped respectively, and that should be coordinated with the State Border Guard Service of Ukraine to transport the local population and the tourists to the White Lake from the settlement of Yaski up to 300 meters prohibited area near the Mayaki Bridge. This is all on my side. If you have any questions, I will be pleased to answer them. Do we have any questions from the floor? Olga, the floor is yours. Olga Donska, the Fifth Channel. I have a question about evacuation of the city of Kherson. Are there some people that have already arrived to Odessa? And how many of these people have already arrived, and how many do you expect? The meetings to discuss the situation are ongoing. We're still waiting for orders. At the moment, we have a task from the office of the president and the head of our region to prepare maximum places to accommodate the internally displaced people from those areas. The work is ongoing. And after this briefing, I will have meetings at my level with the heads of communities. We will also examine all the places, and we will do everything possible to accommodate as many people as possible. Could this situation with the power plant on the recreation season of Odessa. We're not going to have such recreation season in the city of Odessa. We're talking about organizing access to some separate areas of the coastline, subject to specific safety and security conditions. So please let us not use the phrase opening of the recreation season. The beaches will not be opened. We are going to open some parts of the coastline according to the decision of the Odessa Regional Military Administration together with the military forces that are responsible for this area. And we will communicate our decision accordingly through mass media and other communication channels. Will the situation that we have now affect the opening of specific areas? Do you mean the situation in Kakhovka? Yes. There is no threat to Odessa region. Around 80 settlements which are located in that area are affected, and I believe that the responsible authorities will inform the public about the situation in that area. For now, I cannot comment upon the events there. Will it affect the increase of mine threat? The mine threat is always there. That's why there is a range of conditions envisaged by joint orders that I've already mentioned. The measures foreseen cover quick response and the prevention of explosives into the water area where we perhaps could organize access to. And I would like to clarify about the opening of a Croatian seizing and the opening of the coastline. We cannot name it like this, but the beaches are open because people are there. They swim in the sea, and the nightclubs in Arcadia are already opened. There has been recently a concert there. And am I right in understanding if the period was prolonged to the 15th June? This means that municipal authorities and those who rent the areas there failed to meet the conditions of the order. The first, your comment about what is opened now. We need to differentiate between self-activities and the official measures. A lot of outlets are illegally opened now, and the relevant law enforcement bodies should respond accordingly. As for official opening of some parts of coastlines, there is Order 16 in force that prohibit the access to the coastline. We cannot appoint teams of policemen near every beach of Odesa. That's why, through mass media, through your media center, we communicate all the limitations that are still there. This is up for the people to make a decision. If they're ready to take responsibility and to violate the rules. But today, officially, no beaches, no beach, no coastline facility is opened. Because there is prohibition in force. And what was your second question? If you prolonged the period till the 15th of June, does it mean that authorities and those businesses who rent these areas on the coastline failed to meet the conditions? There is a special official letter to prolong the term, to prolong the period. The Commission still works to prepare the acts that should be submitted to the regional military administration. As soon as we get this information, the decision could be made. That's why we prolonged the period till the 15th of June to get these documents. And now the last question, because in 10 minutes we are going to have the briefing of the ecologist. Michael Vasura, Newsweek Journal. The limitation to the access to the coastline, is it related to the events in Kakhovka, or do you believe that there are some other threats to Odesa? The decision on limitations were not accepted today or yesterday. They were made last year in relation to the military aggression and the martial law. And today we're talking about the possibility of opening access to some of the areas subject to meeting safety and security conditions. It's very important to communicate the information properly, and we should make the relevant conclusions. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That was the briefing of the head of the Odesa Military District Administration, Yuriy Kruk. Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming to us today. The next briefing will take place in 15 minutes. It will be dedicated to the environmental. It will be dedicated to the environmental impact of the destruction of Kakhovka hydroelectric power station. Stay tuned.